Good evening, everyone. So as you can see, the topic of the video is shallow copy and deep copy. So from the name only, we can at least have a guess that what this does is that Python provides various ways of storing the objects or any values of an object. So that can be done in various ways. So what are the possibilities or yes, what are the possibilities will be seen while storing the values or address of any objects. That is explained or that is implemented using two functions. One is copy function, another is deep copy functions, and provided by Python. So that will be explained in detail in this video. So let's get started. So before, let's just open my code. So, okay, this is actually the code, like in this code. So do not get scared with so long codes and over here. Over here, I have implemented how a shallow copy and deep copy, uh, what this two things does. So before that, I will be telling you a brief introduction of what is actually deep copy and shallow copy. So Python provides a copy module to create actual copies which offer functions for shallow copy and deep copy. For shallow copy, we use a function called copy method. As you can see over here, I've already given hash shallow. So for shallow copy, we use a copy function, and for deep copy, we use deep copy function. So these are the two functions that Python provides, and that is stored inside a copy module. So you can see I've already imported copy module. So copy is a module from which these two copies, one is copy function, another is deep copy function, has been imported. Like I can show you if I open this, click on this link. Yes, you can see over here, it's showing copy is a module. And so inside this, in import copy, inside the copy, there is a deep copy, there is a different types of copy. You can see copy.copy function, then there is a deep copy functions, and there is a replace. There's so many functions are there. So if I also click over here, so if I scroll down, you can see, yes, this is one copy. This is a copy function. Another is deep copy. So you can see deep copy. So this is for deep copy and this copy function is for shallow copy. So to implement this two methods for to do the shallow copy and deep copy, we have to import this copy module. See copy.py. So I have imported this copy module in my program, that is so in my Python module, which is copy example.py. Okay. Now you can see. So, okay, let's start. So at first I will discuss about shallow copy, then I will be explaining what deep copy is. So before that, as you can see, I have created a class car over here. I have given two attributes. One is name, another is a color. So it's a name, variable name, and this is a color. Okay, this is actually storing the colors. And over here, I created an object, an instance of this class, and this car is actually this has created a constructor which is calling this method. This is a constructor of this car class, and it's passing two values. One is the name, the value that will be stored inside this name attribute, that is the name of the car, Honda. And second one is a list. Okay, so this color is actually storing the list. So whatever possible colors a Honda car has that I have uh, in this, I've inserted in this list, where one is black and yellow. So in this car class, two properties are there. So this is a Honda is the instance of the car class, and it has two properties. One is name, which is the name of the car, and one is color, which is a list that holds the different, what are the possible colors uh, have to be for the Honda, for the car. So now next one is, this is a list. You can see ORG original. So it's an original list. Since I'll be containing the copy of this. So the first, the original list, the name of this list I've given original list. So I've given a short version of short name for original, which is ORG. And you can see I have inserted all the possible values that a list can allow. So as we know, a list stores a heterogeneous type of elements. So what is that? That means list contains elements of different data types. It can be string, it can be integer, it can be a boolean, or it can be a nested list, a dictionary, a tuple, set, and objects. This stores an object also. So so as you can see, this is a list, which is an original list. I've given the name as org, and it has stored different values of different data types. First one, you can see this is a Boolean type, which is true. Second is a string type that I've given as Python. This 100 is an integer. This is a list. This is a float. This is a set. And this is a tuple. And this is also this is a dictionary. As you can see, I've given two keys. One key storing 101 batch node. Another is storing 102 key, and the value is batch Django. And next one, the last two values is an object. As you can see, I'm calling this Honda. As you can see, from where this Honda is coming from. This is none other than the instance of the class. You can see when I'm hovering, it's already showing Honda is actually the instance of the car class. Okay, and I'm calling the name. See, Honda dot name and Honda dot colors, which is none other than a list of colors. Okay, so all this type of values I have stored inside a list, and this line is actually what this line is doing. This is actually storing. See, I've given a variable name as sh, which is storing the copy of ARG, and not just an ordinary copy, it's storing the shallow copy of the original list. So the syntax is, as I've said, for shallow copy, we will use copy function. And that copy function is stored inside a module called copy. So that's why I've written copy, which is a module, dot copy function, and I have passed the org parameter. So you can see this is a list. So sh also becomes, so since sh is containing the copy of this original, so obviously this variable is none other than a list itself. So let's write over here the list so that you can understand easily. This is actually a list. Let's write over here also. So this is actually a list. So sh, which I have given the short name for shallow. So it's containing the shallow copy of the original list. So over here I've printed both. First of all, let's see what, like if I, so Python copy, if I run this, okay, now you can see nothing changes has been shown because I haven't done any changes. Whatever the original list is showing, the shallow copy, since as the name suggests, the copy, so shallow copy is actually storing the copy of original copy. That's no difference you can see as now. So I have just created stored the copy of the original list. Okay. Now, I'll be doing some changes inside the shallow copy. So let's see. Um, so I'll be I'll be changing each element of this original list to see what are the changes. Like I will be doing all the changes in the this list, which is in the sh list, shallow copy. And then I want to see what is there any changes that has been reflected inside the original one. So let's say if I want to edit. So in SH also, you can see in SH also. So I want to change all the values of each element stored inside the shallow list. See, stored inside the shallow list. Okay, and I want to see that whether these values has any effect to the original list. So let's see. So at first, I'll be editing the first value. So the first element index is 2. Let's change it to false. Next one is an integer. Let's change that to a negative value. So it is a positive integer, I will do negative integer. Okay. Let's uh let's change it to, let's see. I hope it is visible to all. Okay. So this is 100 and let's change over here. Okay, as you can see, I have done all the possible update, all the possible modifications of each element inside the shallow copy of the list. Let's print the shallow copy as well as the original list and see is there any changes had been done in the original list. So like why hit enter. Yes. So you can see this is my original list and this is the shallow copy list or shallow list SH. So as you can see, whatever modification I have done, everything has been um, implemented. Everything has been, see, I have whatever I've done false over here. So as you can see, there is no, both are different. Over here, in case of Python, I have written 100 minus 100. In case of 100, I've written minus 100. Okay, so there was a little bit of mistake, a bit mistake was there in my code. That's why the output was not coming. So, okay, I have done the modification. Let's see. So this is my original list. As you can see, no modification I have done. So the copy, shallow copied list and the original list both are same. Now, like these are all the possible editing or possible changes I have done. So you can see this is true. I have written here false inside the shallow copy list. The Python I have written minus 100. Let's change it to Java. That will be better. And okay, another, let's solve the possibility. Let's see now the changes, what change we can see. Okay. Now if we can see properly, so this is my original list and this is the shallow copy list. So you can see whatever changes I've done in the shallow copy, that has been, that is not reflected. See, I've written false where original is true. I've written Java where the original is Python, then minus 100 where original is 100. But let's wait. What we can see over here, this is a nested list, right? So I did one modification over here in the middle of the list in the, this is 0, 1 and 2. In the first index in the 1th index of the nested list, I changed, see this is the original one. I changed 22 to $sign. But you can see that the changes is not only being reflected in the shallow copy, but is also reflected in the original one as well, right? You can see over here I have written SH3 3 means the third index, which is nothing but this nested list. And in the third index, which is storing the nested list, and inside the nested list, at the first index, I have modified 22. I have rephrased this 22 value by $sign, but we can see that the changes had been also reflected in the original one. Okay, let's proceed. So again, 10.6, which I have changed in minus. So this has been as it is, whatever changes in the shallow, that's not been reflected in the original one. Acha, this is set and tuple. We will come to this part after this. Let's avoid these two things, this set and tuple. Let's go to the dictionary part. So you can see this is batch note, nothing I have done, but I have did a modification over here. You can see digital marketing. Yes, you can see in the dictionary. So this is nothing but this seventh index is actually holding the dictionary, right? And in the dictionary in 102 key, I have replaced the batch Django to digital marketing, right? So as you can see, the changes I have made in the shallow list, but that change is also being reflected in the original list as well, right? Let's proceed further. So this was Honda and Suzuki. This was in the object. So this part is actually the part which is coming from the object. What is Honda object? That is the object of the car class. With this name, this Suzuki actually holding the, so that as I said, the Honda object is actually containing two properties. One is name and another is color. Name is a variable, color is a list. So over here, Honda dot name, Honda dot colors, I have made the change over here. I have made Honda dot name. The eighth index is actually storing the name of the Honda, and I have updated to Suzuki. I have replaced the Honda name to Suzuki, and the next index, index 9, is actually storing the list of colors inside the car class. So over here, I have appended I have added another color along with the two existing color, that is white. So as you can see, the original, in my original list, it is black and yellow, and I have but in the shallow copy list, I have added another one. But if I open the output, we can see that black along with, so over here you can see this is my original list where only two colors is been there, right? But in case of shallow copy, when I have appended or added, inserted another color, which is white, you can see the changes had been made also in the original list, right? So what we can conclude from here that whatever changes I'm doing in the values like false, Java, that is okay. No changes is being reflected in the original list. But you can see in nested list or dictionary or in the object that containing a list inside the object. Whatever changes I'm doing inside those nested objects, that changes is being reflected in the original list. So that what shallow copy does. Now, your question will be, what about this set and tuple, right? So if I come to the code, you can see I have commented this line, right? Let's uncomment this and um, let's run it and see what happens. Okay, so what it's showing? This line, right? It's telling me type error. It's giving a type error. Set object does not support item assignment. So what we know in case of set is, what is set actually? In set for does not and follows indexing. We can add elements inside a set. We can delete elements inside a set, but we cannot fetch any elements through indexing, right? Because set does not allow indexing. That's why set object does not support item assignment. So as you can see, I tried to modify something inside the set. So what sh5 this part is holding, this is the fifth index. So you can see this is actually the fifth index which is the set, and I tried to modify the first index with a string which is set, but I unable to do that. Why? Because set does not support item assignment. Okay, that's fine. So let's comment this line. Now, what about this line, this tuple? Let's run it again. Okay, again we can see a type error. What it's saying? Tuple object does not support item assignment. See, the error is same as what was explained in case of set also. So what is happening in tuple? So in tuple is the opposite of list. In tuple, we cannot modify or delete or add any elements, right? Tuple is fixed. The size cannot be modified. Whatever elements are stored, when a tuple is actually created, that is created forever. We cannot modify it. But indexing is possible. Indexing is possible. If I want to fetch, if I want to get element like sh61, if I print only this part, obviously it will give me the value right over here right now. This is a tuple. This is an index 6 that is a tuple, and index 1 is actually false. So if I only print this line, it will definitely give me the value which is false. But if I want to edit the value as I did over here, I tried to change this Boolean value by a string which is tuple, but which is a string word tuple, but I unable to do so. Why? Because tuple does not allow modification. It supports I indexing through each element. I can get any value of a tuple through index number, through the index position, but I cannot update a value or I cannot delete a value. I cannot, no modification is allowed in tuple. This is the reason why I commented these two lines, set and tuple, because we cannot modify set and tuple. So from here we can conclude that whatever modification or changes I can do that with the other things except set and tuple. Okay. So what conclusion I have gathered in shallow copy is whatever modification I will be doing, right? Whatever modification I will be doing in the copied value in the variable that in the list that is storing the shallow copy of the original list, okay? And if that list contains any nested list or a nest or a dictionary or an object, and if I try to modify inside, if I try to modify the content of the nested list or dictionary or object, and also if that object contains a list or a dictionary, so if I try to modify the content of the list and dictionary, that value will be reflected in the original list as well, right? But in case of other values, obviously that changes will not be affected. Like as I did over here, as you can see, I have whatever other values I have modified, all those values has been retained, that not been reflected in the original one. But in case of nested list or a dictionary or a list inside an object, that changes has been made inside the original list as well. So diagrammatically, if I try to explain what is a shallow copy, as you can see in this picture, let's see bag one. Let's see these two are the list. Bag one is the original list and bag two containing the shallow copy of the bag one. That's an original list. And bag one is containing, let's say it's containing the list of bags, which is allocated for different person. Like this, let's say this is the first index, 0, 1, 2, 3. So 4 elements are there, 0 to 3. 0 is index, it's for B. First index is for Jacob. Third index is for Ron. fourth index is for Mandy. So let's say these are the each locations. Each location is holding the address of each person's, right? This is a list. This is an object it's a list type object, and the name is, let's say, bag one, and each element is actually storing the address or location of each person. You can say Big, Jacob, Ron, and Mandy. So this is what a bag 1 is containing, and bag 2 is containing the shallow copy of bag 1. But you can see one thing is bag 2 is not creating a different or its own object. Rather, it is pointing to the same address, same object that bag 1 is holding. So whatever changes I'll be doing over here, that will also be reflected in the original one, which is bag 1. Since both of them is pointing to the same persons, right? Both of them is pointing to the same persons. So whatever modification I'll be doing over here, that will also be reflected over here as well, like on the original list as well. So this is what shallow copy means, right? I hope you understand. And let's dive into deep copy. So let's just comment this line, this part, and let's go back to deep copy. So for deep copy, as I said earlier also, for deep copy, I'll be using deep copy function that is coming from the copy module. Okay. Now, so again, I have used short version of deep copy, that is deep. And again, so I'll be doing all the modification in this original list only. Okay, so that you won't face any problem. I will be using the same example as I used in the shallow copy to let you know the difference between the shallow copy and deep copy. But before that, I will display the original one. Okay, let's clear the screen and just a second. Yeah. And let's run it. So now it's a deep copy, as you can see. So obviously, as a beginning, no changes has been done. So whatever, so both will be having the same values, as you can see here, right? Now, let's copy all the modifications what I did inside the shallow copy. As I said, I will be using the same example as I did for shallow copy. So let's copy and paste over here. Okay. And uncomment this. So as I said, okay, I have to write, acha, this will be deep. Okay. Just wait for a minute. Let's change the name since this one was for shallow. So okay. So this is done. And so obviously for what is this? So as I said, in case of deep copy also, I can't do any modification inside set and tuple. So let's just remove this one since I won't be needing. This is not required. So let's remove this modification for set and tuple. So this will be my thing. Now let's see what changes we can see in when we use deep copy function. Let's run it. Okay. So I will be going line by line. So yes, I have we did false. So that is also you can see the changes has been done. This is Java. This is -100. Okay, this is a nested list. As I said, in case of shallow copy, that in case of nested list or a dictionary, whatever changes I will do using a shallow copy, using a copy method. Okay, whatever the changes will be done inside a nested list that will be reflected in the original list as well. But in case of deep copy, we can see that the dollar sign which I updated in case of the deep copy, that is not being reflected in the original one. Okay. Okay, let's move further. This is again the changes. Okay, say let's skip the set and tuple. As I said, no modification will be done in case of set and tuple. Okay, let's go inside the dictionary. What we can see, I have made changes inside the digital marketing. See in the index, in the key 102, I have replaced this bad Django with digital marketing. And as you can see over here, the change is not reflected in the original one. The original dictionary is not being reflected, not being affected. It is there as it is. Rather, the list where I have done the moderation, the reflection, the result has been only there. If you go further, this is the Suzuki and black, yellow, and you can see white. Okay. You can see over here in case of Deep 9 contains, Deep 9 is actually this one, Honda dot colors. And I have appended one more color that is white. So along with the original color, your black and yellow, one more color will be added. And that modification I did inside the deep. So this is also a list, right? This is also a list. And deep is actually a list which is containing the copy, which is a deep copy of the original list. So deep, whatever modification I have done inside the deep, that changes has been retained. That changes is being, whatever changes I have done over here is not being reflected inside the original list. So I have inside the deep list, I have changed this color. So you can see here, you can see this is my original uh, list. This was my original list that is stored inside the original list. But in case of deep, you can see black, yellow, and white is also been included. So what conclusion I can say from the deep copy is, in case of deep copy, DeepCopy creates a completely independent copy of the original object, including all nested elements. Changes made to the DeepCopy do not affect the original list. As you can see, whatever changes I have made, obviously excluding this one, because this reflection will be there in case of shallow copy. Normal copy will go in case of this, but in case of nested list or a dictionary or an object containing a list, or it can contain a dictionary as well. In this case, whatever changes has been done over here, the changes is independent of the original one. So what is actually happening in case of deep copy? If I go to the diagram, if I so this is the pictorial representation of the deep copy. As you can see, the same example as I've shown earlier in case of shallow copy is that bag 1 is containing the bags, or let's say the addresses of or location of each person, and bag 2 is, this time bag 2 is holding the copy, which is a deep copy of bag 1. But you can see over here one thing, when I'm storing the deep copy of bag 1, bag 2 is actually creating its own copy, its own object, which is completely independent of the original one. So whatever changes I will do over here, whatever changes will be done over here in the deep copy will not be reflected in the original one. Unlike the shallow copy, as you can see from the picture itself, that both the copy, back 2 and back 1, are pointing to the same address, the same objects. But in case of deep copy, both have their individual uh, objects, which is completely independent to each other. So this what actually deep copy and shallow copy is, right? So shallow copy, uh, so this is what a shallow copy and deep copy means. So again, let's sum up what deep copy and shallow copy means. In case of deep copy, Deep copy creates a completely independent copy of the original object, including all the nested elements. Nested elements means all the, see, the nested elements means the nested list, and then the dictionary or the list contained inside an object. Those are the nested elements. Changes made to the deep copy, which is over here, do not affect the original list. But in case of shallow copy, the changes made to the nested elements in shallow copy are also reflected in the original one, as you were seeing that. So this is the difference between deep copy and shallow copy. I hope you understood from this video, and thank you so much, and bye-bye.